So yeah, we were on the question of uh, thing and information about you, Opa, before getting into Duelbots, right? So yeah, I think
Yeah, no, that's correct. I like the last question you asked me was, my what I was doing
yeah,
before Duel, and then kind of how I got into the whole Web3 space. So just like a high level overview again. I was an account executive working in the big tech space, and I've been investing into crypto since 2017. And so I was always, involved in the Web3 space. However, I really got into the granular details, in the NFT scene after meeting my good friend Ape Soul at a in-person event, and that's kind of how it came to fruition. And I teamed up with the Duel team to go on this journey.
right. Yeah. And then yeah, for those who don't know, and to our new listeners, for example, so can you tell us more about Duelbots?
Yeah, for sure. I guess like a really high, just a really overarching overview. Like Duelbots is our NFT line for our platform, Duel.win. So we are an online casino, and our Duelbots, their original mint was 2,223 pieces, high quality 3D PFP art, and the primary purpose behind the Duelbots was getting additional utility while playing on the Duel platform, right? And the main one that you're getting right now is community rewards, which come out in the form of chips. But we do have other utilities in the pipeline, such as interest-free loans and also the ability to create your own loot boxes. So we do have other utilities coming out in the works, but yeah, so that's our main NFT Duelbots right there. But again, one thing I do want to say is we're not just an NFT project. We are a online casino first with NFT aspects.
All right. So yeah, I've seen a lot of casino platforms before and other projects, but then this is one is really unique as I see it because with dual bots, one thing I can say with your casino, your UI is pretty clean and really good looking in comparison to others. It really shows like the details and how well you worked on it. Yeah, that's what I can say. And then with this, my question is, for example, I want to play in your online platform. Do I actually need a dual bot NFT? Because right now the prices are really high, right? So maybe for some regions, uh, they cannot really enter due to if they cannot really buy one due to the really
Yeah,
high floor price at the moment, right?
yeah, for sure. And yeah, no. To answer the simple answer to the question would be no. You don't need to have a Duelbot to come on and play on our platform. Um, as long as you're in a jurisdiction that allows online gambling, you are more than welcome to hop on and play without a Duelbot.
Oh, that's really cool. As in Solana, there are a lot of degens, then they cannot really enter on some high entry barriers, like if they need to buy. So yeah, that's really cool to hear that. So for people here who are interested in to online gambling, etc., I really suggest this one. As I've seen that there's a lot of people tweeting that okay, I entered with one soul and then suddenly after playing on the platform, I gained like 24 soul, which is really exciting. Like oh, it's really something that people can be excited of. Yeah. So
Yeah,
can you tell us
100%.
what kind of games you actually have in this platform?
Yeah, great question. So currently, right now, we have the fan favorite coin flip. To dive a bit deeper into our coin flip game, I think the biggest differentiator and why it's been so successful is because of the overall speed of the platform, right? Like the benefit of our platform is that we're kind of a Web 2.5 company in the sense that the only real Web3 aspect that we have at the moment is the deposit and withdrawal function of our platform. The games itself is completely off chain, and with that, it allows us to create and deliver games at a much higher speed, right? So, for example, if you're playing a coin flip game that's on chain, and the time that it takes one game to go through, you could be flipping 10 coins on our platform, right? So just like that speed to the game, I think it's one of the biggest differentiators and the reason why the community sentiment has been so good. Moving on from that, we do have a jackpot game, NFT jackpot. From a collaboration standpoint, I think this game is the one that speaks the best into what we're trying to really drive here, which is a community-focused platform, right? Jackpot is a PvP game. Oh, sorry. Before I go on to that, Coin Flip can be both PvP or you can play against the house. So there's two options there. Now, circling back to Jackpot, Jackpot is a PvP game. Essentially, it's like almost similar to raffles in the sense that the more you put in, the higher chance you have to win. We have three different tiers. You have low, mid, and then wild. So wild has no cap. Low is up to 25 chips, and medium is, I believe, 25 to 250. And for those of you who aren't aware, one chip equals one USD in terms of valuation. Um, so the cool thing about our jackpot is we actually have a whitelist of NFT, Solana NFT projects that we accept that can be used and wagered in the jackpot pool. So that's been really cool, accepted. I remember last time we had a grand jackpot. I believe it was DGen Legends that threw in two D gods into the pot, and the total
Oh
pot
wow.
size was something. Yeah, it was crazy. It ran up all the way to, I believe, 77,000 for our grand jackpot. But hey, this is a really good segue into letting you guys know. On Friday, we're actually having another grand jackpot that's co-sponsored by Baruku Dragons, both the labs there. They co-sponsored the grand jackpot of $2,000, and we are going to be putting in about $6,000 to make the total pot size 7,777. And that initial pot there, it's going to have a 0% chance of winning. So that's a free pot. You know, come play. It's gonna take 24 hours, but usually our grand jackpots go pretty well. Um, but yeah, I'll circle back to the grand jackpot that we're like some of the events that we're having this weekend after I kind of go through the questions here. The next game we have is a fan favorite and probably our most popular game, Dream Towers. It's the idea behind Dream Towers is like on easy mode, for example, there's four tiles, and three out of the four tiles allow you. It's just like that allows you to go to the next level and make it all the way to the top. You get higher payouts, right? It's kind of like mines, but it's more vertical in a sense. So you have to select the right tiles to continue to go up. But you can cash out at any moment. But again, the higher you go, the more payout you get. Now, that being said, we do have currently three games. However, this weekend you can expect our in-house Crash game to release. So we're super excited about that. Crash will be coming out on our platform this weekend. So that's going to be our fourth official Duel original game that's coming out.
Yeah, that's really cool. So guys, it's not too late. You can still join. Maybe I will join also.
Yeah, no, please do. It's never too late, guys. Like, and one thing that I think a lot of people miss is like we've only actually been live for about a month and a half now, right? So it's still very early in the journey. We have so much more to do. We have so much cool things that we're building that's on our roadmap. Like, you know, we recently just announced our OtterSec partnership. You know, that's just one of the many dominoes that we have set in place. So yes, to your point, it's still very early in the journey.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, with the current floor price, it's still really undervalued for me. Just checking in the prices, and then actually the chart. I saw the chart on Magic Eden. I really think for me, this is not uh an advice, but just my personal comment. So I really think that 122 Sol floor price is really still undervalued for this project because there will be a lot of people really interested in this, especially they can join without really needing to buy the NFT. But with buying the NFT, what could they do? What is the advantage of that? So can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I think I alluded to this a bit earlier, but essentially the main benefit right now in terms of utility aspect of having a Duelbot is the community rewards, right? And the community rewards come out in the form of chips. And you can ask the community members if you want, but it's been quite lucrative in terms of from a reward standpoint. Um, and with those chips, you know, you can feel free to play on the platform or withdraw whatever you please. But uh, as we further grow out our platform, we're going to be adding additional utilities such as interest-free loans, using the Duelbot as collateral, loot boxes that you can create where you become essentially you become the house, right? You can put in whatever you want and set the odds, and you'll take the winnings there. So we have additional fun and interesting, like different utilities that's going to come out by owning these Duelbots. So there's still a lot more to come.
Oh, all right. So that's really cool. So you mean passively, just by holding this NFTs, you gain some chips, right?
Exactly. You get some
Wow.
rewards.
Oh, all right. So that's really cool. So yeah, I think Mark is already here. Mark, are you there? Hello, Mark. Oh yeah. So let's just continue with the questions. So yeah. So what do you think? With in this space, there are a lot of projects
Hello,
like
everyone. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah. There's welcome, Mark. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, bro. So yeah, with this in this space, right, there are a lot of casino platforms, etc., that appeared really back then. So what do you think really sets Duelbot apart within the Web3 space? And then any strategies that you can share, for example, on how you've done this actually.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that first question? I couldn't hear because of the background noise.
All right. So so what do you think sets Duel bots apart within the Web3 space? So any strategies you can share with us on how you've done this actually?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Mark, if you don't mind, is it possible to mute your mic really quickly? There's a lot of echoing I'm getting from that side. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. So the question was, what really sets us apart in the Web3 space? And I guess kind of that alludes to why we've been able to see this kind of success. And I think it really kind of comes back to the sentiment of like the team and how we were true on building a great product first. So like I mentioned earlier on, we've been building Duel since last year of January. And I'm sure you're aware, but last year, I think believe like mid-year mark, there was just like a gust of Solana gambling projects that are popping up left and right. A lot of them being white label solutions. Just a quick turnaround, right? Like it was a gambling meta, I believe, that around then, and it definitely made us upset, thinking like, oh man, like should we be promoting our product, our project first? But the team came to a consensus, thinking like we'll keep our heads down, and and continue to build Duel first and get this done right, and then we'll discuss and we'll talk about what we've built so far. So the biggest differentiator is we took a different approach, right? If you look at the Web3 space right now, most of the people use the NFT as a way to raise capital to build the product. We took the other way around. So we actually built the product first, put our money where our mouth is, and then once the product was completed, we showed what we had to the community. And then our mint date was, I believe, a week after or a couple days after we actually went live from a platform standpoint. So the biggest differentiator is, having trust in the product and delivering in a quality product, and being obviously customer and community obsessed, taking in feedback during the beta stages to make sure that the platform is something that the community would be happy about. So once we are before before we minted, once our platform went live, I think the platform itself and the team and the support we had behind the team kind of spoke for itself, and helped us get to the point where we are today.
Yeah, I really think that's really special and important that of course other projects they try to get the funds from the community, but then here you highlighted that you brought value first by perfecting the product in some sense, then showing it to them to gain trust. So I think I really like that point. And
Yeah,
then
exactly that.
yeah, that's really great. I really believe this is one of the most important thing in the space right now that make any project really unique. Yeah. So other than that, how do you think NFTs are going to move forward? So it's 2023 right now, right? So there are a lot of changes that we're seeing in this space. And then do you have any specific strategies as well for you that you see would be effective in the upcoming times?
Yeah, that's that's a tough question to ask me. See, I wish I had a crystal ball to know where the direction of NFTs are headed, but I guess to answer that question in a different note, when it comes, to answer that question from a dual lens, um, like this is like I'm confident in Duelbots and where we're headed, and the reason I'm so confident in what we're offering is because barring the NFT alone, but like the product itself as Duel, we have so many good, like so many cool things in the roadmap, so many domino pieces that we've set up, and it's just starting to knock one by one. Like I alluded to earlier, like the OtterSec partnership that we announced, the an additional partnership with Boku Labs accepting Boku token, the grand jackpot that's coming up, the launch of our fourth official Duel game, Crash. Like, and this is just the beginning, right? So I can't tell you how the NFT market as a whole is gonna move, but again, this isn't financial advice. But I am very confident in how Duel is going to progress and what we have planned and how what we're going to be executing. And again, naturally, as Duel does well, Duelbots tend to do well as well. So that's kind of my sentiment towards how Duelbots should be heading based on how Duel is going to be heading.
All right. So going more over into strategies, so have you also encountered some hurdles within the span of your operation of the Duelbots project? Then how did you actually overcome these obstacles?
Yeah. Oh my God. Where do I even start, man? Like, I mean, it's not just us, right? It's the market
Yeah.
as a whole has just been getting beat on so many different levels, right? So many hurdles and obstacles that we had to face this year. Soul price just kind of tanking. Then there's a whole FTX fiasco, and I alluded to this a bit earlier as well. But there's like a flood of gambling meta where not as quality projects were coming out with casino related projects, which was kind of mudding that space there. So there's so many things that kind of went against us. Again, like I think the whole like FTX crash being one of the biggest things, but um, we just had to double down, right? We had to double down and bet on ourselves and understand that hey, like we are building something quality here, and if we keep our heads down and continue to build, people will notice. The community will notice, and they'll reciprocate. And thankfully, that came to fruition. We delivered on what we wanted, and the baby that we were building, which is Duel, it came to fruition in December. And thankfully, the community agreed that this is something different, this is quality, and we were able to kind of beat all those hurdles. But yeah, like don't get me wrong, during those times where we were deep into building, with nothing to actually be customer facing at the time, and all these things were just knocking us down. Like from a morale standpoint, it was hard. But again, just doubling down and really truly believing in the product and the project itself, that definitely helped us get through. And we're pretty happy at where we're at right now.
All right. Yeah, that's really great to hear. So from your observations, so which previous strategies that are, being usually used by NFT projects no longer work? And then what do you think are the new strategies that you observe to be working at the moment?
Yeah, I think I can't really speak on a macro level just because from an NFT project standpoint, like Duel is my first one, and it's something that I've been so deeply ingrained on, and it kind of goes back to the initial statement that I made, right? I think um, the new strategy for an NFT project to be successful, unfortunately, we're no longer in the bull, right? So for an
Yeah.
NFT project to be successful, there needs to be more than just that initial NFT and the hype, right? There needs to be actual tangible, deliverable, quality product behind it or a utility behind it. And I think we kind of showed that and kind of put that into test by releasing Duel as a platform first, and then releasing our NFTs. So the short answer to that would be the new strategy that would work in the NFT scene, I guess, just based on my experience, is having a quality product to back your NFT line.
Yeah, that's really uh important. Yeah, I agree. So with
Right,
that,
and the
yeah, go
sorry,
ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I just really wanted to add one thing, and again, apologies for cutting you off there, but
Sure.
not only having a quality product, but with that quality product comes a quality community, right? And making sure that you engage with that community, getting that feedback to adjust how you're building your project definitely helps propel your project overall as well. But I'm sorry, back to you, Chris.
Yep. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, what's next for Duelbot? So can you talk to us about the
Yeah, for sure.
exciting future of Duelbots and your plans for 2023 to ensure the longevity of the project?
For sure, for sure. Again, like I mentioned, we're just getting started. We've been out for a month, just over a month and a half now, and we love what we've done so far.
The
But
floor
this
price
is
is really super high, like
but this is just the beginning. So
with
we're coming out with more games such as Crash, Plinko, and Blackjack, just to name a few. And later down the line, we are going to be implementing other games such as live tables, sports bets, and also slots. So transitioning into a full-on online casino. So there's so much in the roadmap for this year. It's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to some of the initiatives that we have. And again, the team is continuously growing. Recently, we signed Fast Edward already as head of marketing. So from a marketing front, we're really starting. We are really going to start doubling down, and you should be seeing some cool stuff coming your way.
Yeah, all right. So last but not the least, so because we have here some potential, founders of new projects listening to us from time to time. So for new NFT projects launching this
Mhm.
2023, so what are the suggestions do you have for them to be successful? And what are some of the key things to keep in mind when starting a new project in the NFT space?
Yeah, for sure. I think the main thing is NFT and like Web3 space as a whole, it's very community driven, and that's a double-edged sword, right? That's what makes it so great and so beautiful. But at the same time, because it's community focused and community driven, it's easy to get lost in the noise. So one thing, like a big piece of advice that I would give out is make sure that you don't get lost in the noise. Keep your head down and build. And trust me, people notice the effort and quality. And at the end of the day, let your product speak for itself, and don't forget to be customer/community obsessed, and ask for feedback and be malleable to that.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, so far those are my questions. And then thank you for that, Popas. But then we will be opening the floor for our guests. I mean, to our listeners to actually ask some questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
Yeah. So, guys, I encourage you to ask questions because we will be rewarding those with nice and highly engaging questions. With a small reward of 10 USD, and then for everyone who participated and listened, so we would like to incentivize you as well with 5 USD. But this would be randomly selected and announced. All right. So I have a request here. So let's hear it from Vermouth. Hello, Vermouth. Welcome. Yeah, you can speak now, bro. Hello, hello.
Hello, guys. Good morning.
Yes, go ahead.
So my question,
GM.
so my question is, how do you see dual bots in the future? What are the things are you planning to add to utility of your NFT?
Yeah, I believe I answered this one, but let me go ahead and answer this one more time. In terms of overall sentiment of how I feel about Duelbots, me personally, I'm very bullish. But again, I may be biased, but and the bullish comes from me knowing some of the roadmap items that we have in place. Even just this week, we announced OtterSec partnership. We're going to be coming out with another grand jackpot to celebrate our 25 million, and we're releasing a Crash game, right? So on that side, overall, over Duelbots, very bullish. Personally, again, not financial advice, but from a utility level, what additional utilities are going to be coming out? We do have planned in the roadmap to introduce interest-free loans using your Duelbot as collateral, and also the ability to create loot boxes as well. So That's still in development, but it should be available coming soon, later this year. But yeah, those are some of the additional utilities that we have coming up for Duelbots.
I see, I see. That's really cool, man. And I think the loan part, NFT as collateral, is something really degen. So I think I should check it out. Thank you, guys.
No worries. Thanks for your time. Appreciate the question.
Yeah, yeah. Personal advice, you know. So since you don't need to actually buy NFTs first before participating, this is really good. So you can check it out and participate in the casino platform.
Yeah, that's correct.
But
Check out the website, guys. It's duel.win.
so hopefully we win.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Web2 betting, but it's time for the legitimate Web3 betting platform, such as Duel. All right, so do we have more questions, guys? So don't be shy, and we encourage you to engage here with your questions just in case. So maybe, so I told you we are still early here. So seeing the current price, it's already up to 122 Solana floor price, but it's still a long way to go as they just started. So we're still in early here. So if you'd like to know more about Duelbots, it's your time to ask the questions right now. Okay, so let's have it. We have another request. Solana Legend first. Hello, Solana Legend. Welcome. Oh, yeah, there.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hey.
Welcome, welcome.
So, first of all, a huge supporter of the project, guys. I am a believer in this team, and I think the pace at which you guys are shipping and your creativeness and innovation is going to speak for itself, and this is going to be one of the top projects this year. But I just wanted to ask if you guys would ever consider doing kind of a stock split, so fractionalizing the Duelbots, call it 5-1 or even 10-1, in order to get them to a little bit lower trading range, given that most Solana degens don't have, 120 or 200. Imagine the floor went to like 300 or 400. It's something
Right.
the coin flips
Yeah.
face, and they fractionalize the fat cats, which was huge for them.
Yeah. Again, first and foremost, really appreciate the love and support. And again, thank you for hopping on and speaking some words here, very kind words. That being said, like in terms of fractionalization of dual bots, that's something that has come up in terms of the community asking about that, and it is on our radar. Nothing right now that I can give you a concrete answer on, saying that we'll be doing X, Y, Z by then. But it is definitely on our radar. It's something that we'll need to do further discussion on. I think maybe we'll ask, community sentiment a bit more, but it's on the table, but not a priority item. Unfortunately, at the very moment, we're super focused on, the release of the new game and Plinko to come. But once we kind of stabilize the new games and release everything and the dust settles a bit, I think that's something that we can discuss. But yeah, it's definitely on our radar.
Thanks.
No worries. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have a few other questions if you guys don't mind, like me asking, but
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so have you guys, I guess, yeah, some of these are a little bit more specific, but how are you guys approaching like integrating like regional games? Like, for example, I don't know, there's like different sectors of the gambling world, right? Places that, like in Asia, for example, they have, each country typically has like their own games and stuff. How do you guys like feel about those versus traditional casino games? And would you ever integrate like, say like, you know, the color game from the Philippines or like some other regional game if it had enough traction?
Yeah, great question. In terms of where we see Duel headed, it is definitely a global company. So in terms of if there is the traction in the community demand, 100% that's something that we could definitely look into. In terms of like game aggregators, like we are talking to the biggest and the baddest in the space. So if it's something that has enough demand, we're pretty sure that those providers will offer it. So we're confident in terms of what we can offer. And again, we always come back to the true north statement of being a community-driven, community-obsessed platform. So again, if the community says they want it, we can always look into it. But yeah, I'm nothing immediately in the pipeline, but if that's something that the community wants, that's something that we can definitely look into for sure.
Awesome. And then one last question around, I know the lending stuff is like a roadmap item in the future, so nothing immediate, but I had a question around like the mechanics. So first of all, will like people be able to like do borrow lend, or is it only, you know, borrowing from the house?
Yeah, great question. Unfortunately, I wish I had more details on this. So it's still in the drawing board in terms of where we want to head in terms of direction standpoint. But last we discussed, and again, this may be subject to change, so don't quote me on this. But I believe it's going to be borrowing against the house, leveraging your Duelbot as collateral. So getting chips based on that.
Okay, that's awesome. And then, sorry, one more question around the loot boxes. So you mentioned this is going to be kind of a potential future utility for the Duelbot NFTs themselves. Does that mean that Duelbots are going to have some kind of exclusive benefit with regards to these like loot box games or creating loot boxes? Or is this something that, you know, everyone will be able to do eventually? Or is it, will you have to have a Duelbot to do it?
Yeah, so right now, the way it's set up, based on the discussions that we've had, again, this is still in the drawing board as well. We might do like a community sentiment too to see where we want to head with this. But in the initial plan you will need to have a Duelbot to create those loot boxes.
Okay, that's awesome. Thanks a lot, man. I asked some pointed questions. I hope you don't get in trouble.
All good, all good.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. And really nice questions and insights. Yeah. So to spread light, share light into this information about Duelbots. Right. So we have some more speaking today. So let's accept them. So we have here Rachel. So Rachel, welcome, welcome. So you can speak now and ask your question.
Hi. Mine is just like a bit general. Just curious to find out maybe why you settled on Solana as a blockchain, and yet we have like various other options like say Ethereum, Polygon, Wax, and so many others. So why specifically did you guys settle on Solana? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Rachel, and a fantastic question at that. So, the reason why we chose the Solana community, I think it really kind of goes back to looking in the community. Like, there's no other community like the Solana community. I think it's the most vibrant, most lively within the Web3 space, and also because the founding team, so the Dueler and also Ape.Soul, they both actually come from that Solana, OG Solana space, right? They were the founders of DJ and Ape Academy. And just knowing their experience and knowledge within the community, they knew that the Solana community was the best place to build. And on top of that, the team as a whole felt that for so long, the Solana community there was a big gap in providing a quality casino experience like Duel. And that's why, all the pointers pointed towards Soul. So that's why we decided to kind of build on this platform here.
Awesome. Thank you.
So
Thank
any
you for your
more
question.
questions? Rachel.
Not at the moment.
All right. So we have another one requesting to speak here. Thank you, Rachel. So Franklin. So we have Franklin. So let's. Oh, he canceled. Oh, there you go.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, welcome, Franklin.
Hey, what's going on?
Go
I
ahead.
just had a question. So basically, I have a friend, or a coworker actually, who I think he was like he had like the early alpha on Duelbots. I remember him chatting about it like a few months ago. He's like, "Oh, I'm looking at these." He showed me and I think it was the Twitter or something. But yeah, I didn't think much of it. I was like, whatever, just like casino thing, right? But yeah, he basically had alpha. I think his buddy was actually um, a part of your company somehow. I don't have so much information. Sorry, it's very limited. But basically, I have a question, which would be, I heard he ended up telling me though that it didn't sell out. The mint didn't sell out for Duelbots. So I'm just curious, like, as to like, um, did you? I kind of just want to know, like, why didn't it sell it? Like, was your hype not there at the time? And like, just looking at where you guys are now, it's like just crazy to me. So I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
like, what did you guys learn from that whole mint experience and not selling it? Was that like did it like help you guys in a way? Do you think, or?
So right off the bat, Franklin, again, appreciate your time here. Appreciate you coming up and speaking. We actually did mint out. It was a slow mint. Took about 2 to 3 hours, but we successfully minted out.
Okay, yeah, I guess it was just like the timing of it. He said it didn't mint out instantly. Maybe that's what he said. But yeah, okay, maybe it's just like a miscommunication thing there. But okay, well, I guess I just botched my question then. My bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, all good, bro. Yeah.
But the secondary thoughts. So first time using website tonight, I tried like the jackpot game mode or whatever. That shit is sick. I was just like watching people play for a bit. And I was like, dude, I got to get in on
Yeah.
this. So I threw like a soul down, and then I lost the first one. But then I guess I'd tried again, and like ended up coming out like $50 in profits. So that shit was lit.
Nice. Congrats.
yeah, yeah, dope website
Yeah.
though. I'd like to see more emotes though. The emotes, there's like 15 emotes. I want to see like some 7TV emotes or some shit. I don't know if you can do that.
Actually, in our Discord, we do have like a section where we ask the community like what emojis you guys would like to be added on the site. So it's something that we can definitely add. And kind of circling back to one of the points that you mentioned, you loving jackpot and seeing people gamble. I think like the one thing that we really wanted to bring in the dual space is one thing that kind of goes missing when you look at online gambling is the nature of gambling altogether. Because in real life, gambling as a sport, it's quite a social experience, right? It's a social activity. And we try to kind of emulate that aspect into the online space. And that's why we brought the jackpot and the chat and with all these emotes and emojis to, cheer each other on or, cry after a loss and stuff like that. So I think, Franklin, you're like a core testament of seeing like having that social aspect definitely adds to that experience. And I'm glad you enjoyed your time.
Dope. Yeah. Good answer. Yeah, like my family members when I was growing up, they would like play like I'd go over to my grandma's house and it'd be like a big family gathering. And like I just realized like all my like mom's, I guess, female relatives, they'd all like play hearts and stuff. So yeah, like very social. I just drew a connection with that. Maybe not such a great connection, but yeah, social is definitely something that I see too. So good answer.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Franklin. So, any more to add to your questions?
Nah, not really. I'm just gonna keep an eye on these NFTs though for sure. The Duelbots. I think my buddy still holds 10, so I'm gonna try to get on his level and like grab one in the future. But I don't know, that might take me a while. But anyways, yeah, you guys will definitely be on my radar for sure. Yeah, thanks for letting me up here and have a good night, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. So, we have another question here from Sheesh. Oh, wow, we have a lot of questions. Right, Sheesh, hello. Welcome to the space. Hello, Sheesh. Yeah, you can go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question. So, is this like a whole gambling and casino thing legal?
Yeah, great question. So right now, the way we're operating, it is legal. And we do that by limiting jurisdictions, right? So we have a jurisdiction prohibition, prohibited jurisdictions. So if you're from a country or an area that does not allow online gambling, unfortunately, you won't be able to access our website or platform.
Okay, okay, great, great.
All right. So we have more questions in the form of comments, actually. So here are some questions from Ninong Jules and Aponi Estong. So these are kind of similar, no? So is there any assurance or security or workaround for the project with, because Solana chain is always having some issues on hacks and such. So especially on betting sites.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, when it comes to security and cybersecurity as a whole, it's definitely top of line, right? Like any online business, security should be at the forefront and one of their operational pillars. And that's why we are so proud to announce that we have made a partnership with OtterSec to audit our code and platform for the current games and future games that we have to come. Partnering with such a formidable partner like OtterSec, we're confident that we can deliver some of the security pillars that meet the standard that we want to meet.
All right, all right. Yeah, so any other questions from our guests and listeners here before we end this space for today? So, all right, all right. So, I think we're about to wrap up our space for today. So, I'd like to thank everyone who attended. Oh, wait, there's another one. So, sorry, sorry. So, yeah, from Neil, are there plans on integrating Web2 businesses to add more options of streams of revenue and maybe offer those merch as well as prizes?
Right. So, incorporation of Web 2, like, I'm not sure if the person who asked that question is here, but could you provide more context in what lens? Because, like, from a business standpoint, like, we will definitely be incorporating, Web 2 and Web 3 motions from a marketing front. So, that's definitely
Yeah,
in the pipeline. But yeah, like, in terms of
he's
like,
here.
sorry, come again?
He's here actually. So maybe
Okay,
we can
perfect.
invite to speak. Yeah, so I invited you, Neil, over to speak. Maybe expound further on this one. So please accept. Hello, Neil. Hello. He's not yet accepting.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But in terms of like merch, that's something that's on our radar as well. We're currently debating bringing on a quality vendor and potentially having merch as well. But at the moment, there's nothing immediate. Again, we really want to focus on the platform first and deliver quality products and games. But again, once the dust settles, happy to look into it. But it's definitely on our radar.
Yep. Yeah, so Neil, you can speak now. Yeah. Welcome to
Yeah,
the
hello,
stage.
hello. Yeah, so I asked about it because from my experience in research on NFTs, most projects now are planning on integrating Web2 businesses so that they would be able to finance upcoming or long-term plans for the project and to give more utilities to its holders. So I asked it because it could be like what they call this utility wherein your holders could win some merch in their grand prizes, only your holders, of course it would be like an exclusive utility for holders only, like they could win merch or they could share the profits on the sales of the merch or whatever revenue the web2 business that's integrated in the project could have in the future, so that instead of just gambling and gambling, they would have at least very minimal assurance of returns on the principles that they invested in the NFT itself.
Okay, so first off, I think the main point there is stream of revenue, right? Like,
Yeah.
again, to allude to my original opening statement, I want to make this clear. We're not an NFT project. We are a online casino with an NFT line, right? Like with an NFT aspect incorporated into it, into not only our own line but into the games as well. So from a revenue standpoint, like we are a Web2 business at the end of the day. We're an online casino, right? So from a revenue standpoint, we're not too worried. You can check our mix panel. We are trending pretty well. So in terms of additional revenue streams, like I think we shouldn't be straying off from what we're building right now. If anything, we're going to be doubling down more so on the online gambling platform. So our online casino.
Understood. Thank you for answering.
Yeah, no, thank you for your question, Neil.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. So, any more questions before we end the space? Okay, so if there's no more questions, I would like to personally thank you, Opasol, and the other listeners here for coming in for today's space. So it's really insightful and got me excited to even participate in Duel Casino right now. I'll try my luck.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you hosting the space. Appreciate the invite. Thank you, everyone that hopped on and asked questions or were listening in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. Again, please check out Duel.win. We have some cool prizes and events coming up this weekend, so it's a great time for you guys to hop on and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. For me personally, I suggest just a personal advice, not a financial advice though. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and then see you in the next space. So we will have Alpha Pharaohs on the next space. So the founder was here earlier, so I was not able to call him. So but it's okay. So we'll have Alpha Pharaohs on the next space. So see you again in our next space for NFT Strategies Twitter Space Podcast for TokenMinds. So yeah, my name is Chris, and our guest Opasol is Chris as well. So thank you very much for coming today. So yeah, see you again, guys, in the next space, and bye bye. Have a nice day.